everyone, Nicola here. I am the outreach specialist with REE Medical. If you are new to our channel, we are a neutral third-party company dedicated to providing accurate and thorough medical documentations to support a veteran's claim, so they have every possible chance at receiving a favorable outcome. We provide this support through DBQs. We also provide assistance with DMV disability placards and Schedule A letters. And today I am so excited to have Nate here. He went through our process, and I am just so excited to ask him a couple questions and for him to share his experience working with REE. And we're just so happy to have you, Nate. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank
you so much for being here. So, okay, first off, if you want to just share a little bit about yourself, just where you're from, where you serve, what branch of military.
Well, I'm from Nebraska. I was in the Marine Corps from 2007 to 2011. I got medically retired from the Marine Corps, got out with the 60% disability rating, and on station in Camp Pendleton, California.
Love it. Love it. And so you got out with 60%. And then, so what was that process like for you, getting your initial rating, going through that process? Did you have other friends that went through that process, doing it on your own? Like, would you mind just sharing just a little bit about that process with us?
Yeah, getting it, because I got medically retired was a little bit different than most. The Marine Corps kind of helps you through it, but it is a excruciating process. And so for 9 years, I never touched my rating because I didn't want to lose my 60%.
Yeah.
And I was happy where I was.
Okay. So 9 years. Wow. And so what sort of made you want to decide maybe I should apply, for additional benefits or to try and provide, assistance with that rating? Like, were your conditions getting worse? Like, what sort of was that decision for you?
Some of my conditions were getting actually quite a bit worse. My doctor had mentioned it with the VA and going through their process to raise my disability rating, but I still didn't want to because I knew what a process it was. So a friend of mine actually referred me to REE Medical, and I still was skeptical. So I did a lot of research, and I think they're fairly new. I think you guys were fairly new at the time. There wasn't a lot online about you guys, but I waited and watched how his process went, and yeah.
And then here you are, and you decided. I love that. Now, okay, so you were a little skeptical. You kind of did your research. Like I said, I know because we've been around for about 6 years now. And I think this was like a few years ago that I first met you. So that's so awesome that you were kind of new to this program for yourself as well as REE Medical. So what was it sort of, was it maybe waiting on his decision? Like, what was it for you that you were like, okay, I'm going to give this a shot?
I just wanted to see how the process went. I didn't even wait. I didn't even do it before he got his rating. I was just kind of standing in the shadows watching how his process went and what they did. And once I felt comfortable, then I went ahead and, I paid the whole amount up front and went through the process. So it was like, as long as I don't lose my 60%, I was happy.
Got it. And then how did you feel kind of going through the process from beginning to end?
The beginning, there's a lot of paperwork, but once I filled that out, it was pretty easy. And actually, even the paperwork wasn't that bad. I just don't like paperwork. So it wasn't that bad. I filled out the paperwork. I did, it's been a while. I did a doctor's appointment.
Okay.
And then I just listened and followed. My decision only took, I think it took like 6 months. It was 6 or 7 months. It wasn't that long.
Okay.
I've referred to quite a few people, and I know other ones take a long time, and I think it's probably worse now, but mine took like 6 or 7 months.
It is. I know it's so hard to tell, that's definitely one of the common questions we get is how long. And, I like to joke, it's, VA sometimes can be sort of consistently inconsistent, right? You never know. You kind of put in, and some people get a decision right away from the VA, which was wonderful. And for others, it takes a little while, but 6 months, that's pretty good. It's still a little bit of time, but that's pretty good.
And if you get an increase, it's all back pay.
Well, so I was going to ask you, what was it like when you finally got your rating decision from the VA? what were you, what were you doing? What were you feeling?
It was Christmas time. I think it was 2019.
Okay.
And I remember even though I knew it was going to be a while, for some reason I'd check e-benefits quite often. It'd be like once a week just to see. And one day I went in there, I think it was like the day after Christmas, and I refreshed it and it said 100%. And I was like, what? I was like, so that was pretty cool. And then it literally was that following 2 weeks later, all that back pay was in my account. And I mean, it was done.
I bet that was nice.
The permanent in total. And it was nice. It was a very good feeling.
That is wonderful. And I'm sure receiving that, especially around the holidays, was probably like the best gift. That's so awesome. And how have you been like since? Like, obviously permanent in total. That's fantastic. Like,
yeah, no, and you guys helped me out with the DMV here in California. I was able to get one of the cars, no registration on that per year. So that's
fantastic. That's wonderful.
And then with California, they actually have a tax benefit for property tax. So, that was huge. I was never expecting the 100. I was expecting like an 80 or 90, but yeah, no, definitely grateful.
But you did it.
Obviously super grateful for you guys. I've tried to send so many your way, but
thank you. Well, you do. You send a lot of referrals, which we really, really appreciate. And for those of you who are watching, we do have a outreach referral program, for veterans that signed up. We can definitely send you some information on that. So definitely check out our website, Facebook, Instagram, all of our socials. But so anybody that's watching, is there any advice or encouragement that you would like to send veterans who might be on the fence, just unsure, have questions? As you know, we do have free consultations, so it doesn't hurt to just, call us and do a consultation. But just with your experience and what you went through, obviously on your own, before REE Medical and now having used REE Medical, is there any advice or encouragement that you would like to sort of send, to any veterans?
Biggest thing, and this is what I tell everybody I refer to you guys, is mine went really easy, but I've had friends and it was the VA where maybe they requested an appointment with that individual, but you guys do really good with coaching people what to do when these weird situations happen from the VA. So the biggest thing I would tell people is just listen to every word you guys say or read it. Because you guys email, it's pretty easy just to read the email, do what it says, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, that's
be
awesome.
patient.
Be patient. Yeah, I know. Patient. I know that can be a hard one sometimes, but I feel like it, definitely has some benefits for being patient. So it's worthwhile for sure.
But a very good company. So if anyone's considering it, just call them and talk to them.
Call Nate. We're hiring him. No, I'm just kidding. Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience, Nate. We really, really appreciate it. And yeah, anyone's interested, we'll put some links in the bio to reach out, but just give us a call. Our consultations are completely free. And, thank you so much for being on here today.
It's no problem. My pleasure.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.